Hey guys, what's up? So I know I'm not the best looking chick on earth, but what are you gonna do? So I am going to do a story time, and I was gonna save it for Christmas, but I thought, why not do it now? And sorry, I'm wearing Sam's big old ass shirt. It's really loose on me. It's the only thing I feel comfortable in. Okay, anyways, so it was Christmas, and me and my family like to go down for the holidays at my mom's house. And it was, we always liked doing it. We didn't do it at my dad's mom's because she didn't believe any type of holiday or any celebration because she don't believe in it. So we always go to my mom and dad's house for any type of celebration or holiday. So it was Christmas, and of course I was about between 6 to 10 years old, and Joshua, Rebecca, and Abby were below. So like if I was, Josh would probably be between 6 and 10. I think Abby probably was about 5, between 1 and 5. Probably about between 3 and 5. And Rebecca was probably about 6. So then I was probably about 9. I don't know. I'm just guessing. So the kids will try to stay up, and it was Christmas Eve. And that's when we normally on Christmas Eve we go to Mama Maris's, and we would open up gifts, and the next day we would open the presents on their tree there at Mama and Papa's. My mom and Mama and Papa's. Yeah, it's a generation. So anyways, it was time to go to sleep. I think it was that, or it was not Christmas Eve yet, and it was going to turn Christmas Eve tomorrow, because I really don't remember opening up presents. So I think it was not Christmas Eve yet until tomorrow. So we all went to sleep, of course. The kids, that's weird. I just look back on my computer, and the screen just automatically changed colors. That's not weird at all. Okay, well anyways, I'm going to give him the name Ted, and their dad's name Ted. So that's not his real name, but we're going to give him that name. And I remember him giving us candies, and it was gummy lifesavers. And we ate those before we went to bed. And this is when Joshua, Rebecca, the girls had the bunk beds. And Joshua's room was right beside. But sometimes if he was in there, that's normally when I'm in there, he will literally fall asleep on the bottom bunk with Abby, and I would bunk with Rebecca up top. So, of course, the little ones fall asleep, which was Rebecca and Abby. They always fall asleep first, and it was either me or Josh. One of us would hit the hay. It normally would be me, then Josh. Sometimes it would switch around because Josh stayed up all night last time, so he hits the hay first before I do. But in this case, it was me, then Josh. And I told Josh, hey, I'm going to go to sleep. And the way it was set, Eva had the master bedroom. Here's Eva's. I know you can't really see it. See. So, here is the spot for, Eva's room. This is the kitchen. This is the living room connected with Eva's room. And then the kids' rooms is up here. This one would be where we're at, and this just Joshua's. And then over here would be the bathroom. It's pretty much close together and everything. I don't know why I'm all over the place. Okay, well anyways. So Eva was sleeping in the master bedroom. Joshua was not in his room. He was with us with the kids. in the girls' room, and Mama and Papa had a building back then because Ted, built it for them, so they stayed up there. And Rachel, I think at the time, which is my cousin, she was a little bit older than me. She's I think 3 years and a few months older than me. So at that time, she was a teenager. So she had her own room, which was at the time at the bottom, because it was 2 levels of the building. So the Mama and Papa had the top building, which is more like a luxurious type, because they had their own kitchen. Kind of like a penthouse in a way, because it had its own kitchen, a bathroom, and their own patio, and had an own balcony, a bar, everything like that. So they had that up there, and Rachel was down the bottom. So anyways, we were up, and lo and behold, I know that Ted told us that he had to work late at night sometimes, so he didn't come home until the next morning. And that's when he told his kids, he came in, talked to his kids, loved them, all that, and then he went to work. And he was telling them, hey, I'm going to be at work all night. I don't know what time I'll get back tomorrow, all that. So I told Josh I was going to fall asleep. He goes, okay. So I fall asleep. It was 2, 3 in the morning when I woke up, and I heard the sound of someone in the kitchen. Now, first, how you automatically get a weird feeling like something's not right, or you just know something's not up with the person? That's how I felt automatically. I never felt that way, and that's the first time I've ever woke up and was so terrified to go out there to see who it was, because I knew it wasn't anyone. I knew it wasn't Mama, I knew it wasn't Papa, I knew it wasn't Ted, and I knew it wasn't Eva. I just had that feeling that this was someone else in our house. I knew it wasn't Rachel. I just automatically knew this is someone. I think at the time that Rachel wasn't there. I think she was actually at her dad's in North Carolina, because we were in West Virginia. And so I was just okay, I just had that immediately feeling like something was definitely wrong. And so I went down the bottom of the bunk to try to wake up Josh, because I knew I couldn't go out there by myself. And Josh, at the time, was so terrified, he faked like he was sleeping, and that's how terrified he was. He would not wake up. He would not move. He was strict paralyzed. He was terrified, because he had that immediate feeling, too. So I think I also try to wake up Rebecca or Abby, but they're really heavy sleepers. They're not so light. Once they're asleep, they're asleep. They're not waking up until they wake up the next morning. That's how Joshua is. But when I lifted up, his lid to try to wake him up as best as I could, his eyes were so terrified. I remember his eyes were legit terrified. So something told me, I honestly feel God just told us, just go back in your beds, just try to sleep through it, just don't worry about it, just sleep through it, don't even thinking about going into the living room to see who it is. I heard this person just get something to eat, come in the living room, watch something on TV, and then just, I guess, went on its way. It was 2 to 3 in the morning. And I knew that Ted has already left, I think, 10 to 12. So I'm pretty sure his work ain't going to tell him to go straight home and then come back at a, certain time that you've only been working there for a few hours, And I figure that he normally takes his own lunch, or goes somewhere and buys his own lunch. So anyway, at that time, I think he was a contractor for houses and stuff, which I know that's weird that he would be going late at night. But yeah, so I would tell you more, but I think that's just more personal. But anyways, about him, of the whole why he went late at night, but I don't want to tell that because I think that's just more personal for my aunt and all that. I mean, yeah, so that's why I'm not going to say anything. But anyways, so that's what I had a feeling, that it wasn't him. I knew it wasn't my mama because it was, tomorrow then Christmas Eve. She should have it off. And not only that, Mama normally for her to go to work would be about 7 o'clock a.m. And this was like 2 to 3 in the morning. So I knew it wasn't her. And I knew it wasn't Papa because he's very grumpy when he wakes up. So, like, at night. So I knew it wasn't him. He would definitely be in the building. And it wasn't Rachel because she was very off with her dad, spending time with him. And I knew it wasn't Eva because the door was shut. And normally if it's Eva, she leaves the door wide open and then comes and shut it. But nope, she had her door shut. So I went up there. I think I was lucky that, the person didn't try to harm us in any way or any of my family whatsoever. And I'm pretty grateful. Like, I don't remember because I was just straight asleep. I don't know if the person ever came to go use the restroom or anything because you have to kind of go by to use the restroom and then come back because I knew I wasn't going to go in the master bedroom where my aunt was and go use that one. So I know it definitely, I never seen the person go by. So at this point, I woke up again because I heard the sound of them rustling in the kitchen again. And the TV was off and everything, so they was done with the living room. And I guess they put their plates away or something, turned off the light to the kitchen, and went outside. And when I woke up, I asked Josh, why didn't he wake up? I was trying to wake him up, and he said that I was awake. I was just so terrified. I just couldn't get out of bed. I did not want to go see who it was. I was so terrified. And so I said, so you had the same feeling that I had? And he said, yeah. And I was like, wow, I just really wish I knew who it was so that way we can tell them to get out, or that way we knew which one of the adults it was. I think I remember asking even Mama, and I think they both said that no, they never got up in the morning. And I definitely knew it wasn't Papa, because I'm pretty sure that Mama said, oh yeah, it's Papa, he got lit, so that's why I had a feeling knowing that it was none of them, and it was someone that just came in and ate their food and then went on their way. I don't know if they knew my grandparents, and as well, they didn't harm us, didn't have that intention. I really don't know till this day, and it's still stuck in my memory. I don't even know if Joshua, my cousin, remembers it at all. I might ask him. I just remember that story from the time I was little until still to this day. And I knew it wasn't my mom or dad because they were actually spending the night at Mama Mars's, and then I would stay the night with the kids because I missed the kids and I always liked hanging out with the kids. Nothing was stolen or anything. Everything was in its place. I think that was just a really scary time for me. It's still mystery to this day of who it was. I also have another story. It was the time, like the green light through the window, I call it. That's also mystery too. It was a time where I think it was where kids were let out for the summer and still adults had to go to work. My mom couldn't come down to West Virginia to see the family or anything, so she asked me if I wanted to go down there, play with the kids, and she'd come back when she can to come and get me and then take me home. And I said, yeah, sure, just as long as the kids didn't have to go to their dads. And at the time, Ted and Eva had got a divorce. So they were on the part where Eva had most times of the kids because she was the caretaker and was getting child support from Ted, if that makes any sense. So at the time, Eva thought that she had the kids, all that summer to herself for like at least a week or two before it had transferred over to Ted. And so that's when I agreed to go. I went down there. It was like late at night once Ted called her and said, no, I'm supposed to get the kids tomorrow and all this. And the kids really didn't like to go to Ted, so they were crying and all that. And I really felt bad for them. I was hugging them and telling them it's okay, and Eva was too. But she did eventually take the kids to their dad's, and I was all by myself. I was the only kid there because I think Rachel at the time was already at her dad's, so I was the only kid there. I even asked Mama if she could come and get me up early tomorrow or today, and of course she couldn't because of work. And at a time like that, just couldn't understand because I was a kid, but I had to stay there. I hated like sleeping by myself at night there because of that experience with the whole Christmas mystery thing. And not only that, I just don't like sleeping in the house that's not mine. That's not my room or anything like that, and it just gives me the creeps, especially with the paranormal that I've experienced when I was a little bit younger. And so I was just freaked out. I never liked sleeping by myself unless if I had noise with me in the room. So I think then the bed was set up to where I'm trying to remember. I still think it was the same way where at this time it was like Mama and Papa had the master bedroom. I think Rachel was up on top of the building, Joshua was down the bottom of the building, and I think Rebecca and Abby had the room, their room, and then Eva moved into the room that Joshua had. So that's how that went. I asked Eva if she could sleep with me. Somehow it convinced her. And sometimes she didn't come home until like 1 a.m. in the morning. And she was there and she slept through me. It was about like 3 o'clock again in the morning that I woke up. And I seen like this green dot of light on the wall. So I turned over at the window and there's like this big ass green light at the window. So my intentions were to wake up Eva and ask why is there like a green glowing light at the window. But I knew I've already been asking her questions because if I heard a strange sound and she would explain it. So I was just like, you know what, this is pretty explanatory. I'm just not going to wake her up. I'm going to let her sleep. She's been at work. She's got to wake up at a certain time in the morning just to go to work. I think it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. And so I'm just not even going to bother her. So the next thing I heard, like I woke up about like 5 to 6. So it's kind of like midday already, And I look at the window again. The green dot's gone. The glowing light at the window is pretty much gone. So when I did wake up, which was probably about 9 a.m., I don't know, I went back to sleep, I remember, and Eva was gone because, of course, she was at work. And when I woke up, I heard that my papa's lawnmower got stolen. And I was like, great. I should have woke up my Aunt Eva. So I told Eva when I was sleeping, when we were sleeping, I saw this green light glowing at the window. And she was wondering, why didn't you wake me up? And I was just like, well, I just didn't want to bother you. You're already sleeping and you're tired. You had work the next morning, so I just did not want to wake you up. That was not my intentions. And so I just thought it was pretty explanatory of why there was a green light at the windows. I just did not want to bother you because I was already asking you questions at night of what this familiar sound was, and you always had an excuse of what it was. So she was like, no, you should have woke me up. And I was just like, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I didn't want to wake her up because she was just like so exhausted, you know. And I could tell at that time my aunt was going through a lot. So I just did not want to, you know, mess with her. I just wanted her to sleep and relax, you know. And I don't know why. Every time I talk to y'all, my voice cracks for some odd reason. So, that's another story about it. It was like really simple and small. But if you want to hear more stories, I got a ton. I just have to remember them. But if you do want to see a soccer story, I do have the one that's up. I'm going to try to see if I can't redo most of these videos. And probably do it like on my laptop. But we'll see. Because they're pretty long, so I might have to do it on my laptop without me just rumbling everything off my tongue before, you know, my phone stops. Because my phone will only hold so many amounts of storage, and it's like ridiculous. But if you want to hear more stories, please let me know, and I'll get back to y'all. And I love you guys. Me and Sam both do. And we'll see you another time. Maybe on another story time.